Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You know, I'm a huge fan of Annette Mux and her company, Carlton Staffing. And the reason why is because she's really allowing people and freeing people up to be able to pursue the American dream, which is, I think, is so important. So many business owners out there are taking on way more than they had any business handling. They never meant to go into HR business. They meant to go into publishing business, like our guest today, you know, or they meant to go into the food business or whatever. And they get stuck in the quagmire of HR. And what you do is you daily liberate people and solve all kinds of problems. And if there's any area government's creating more problems in, it's in the employment area. And so you're amazing what you do.
Well, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. And Carlton Staffing does help. I love the way you describe what we do for others. But we do help employers find great people. And Carlton Staffing places in office and industrial and in Houston, Dallas, and Fort Worth. And we also have a division called KTEK that places engineering and IT professionals. And we are just launching our accounting and finance group.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very excited about that. But I'm also very excited to welcome our guest today, Tom Morin, who's the publisher and president of Daily Court Review. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Annette.
Kevin, good to see you, Tom. Long time no see. Yes. Kind of give us the elevator speech about the Daily Court Review.
Sure. Daily Court Review has been around for 127 years.
Yeah, you don't look a day over 80.
You know, that's why we live in Houston. We have a good medical center, good plastic surgery.
There you go.
It's all good. But we specialize in public notices and what we call business leads, which are public records.
Yes. And is it a multi-generation? I know your dad owned it, before you. Did his father or a family member before him? How far back does it go family-wise?
Family-wise, it goes back 4 generations. So great-grandfather, then grandfather, then my dad, and now me.
There you go. Annette, your question?
So, obviously you've been in business 127 years. There have been lots of changes over the years. And, how have things changed? Like if your great-grandfather were to come back right now and sit in your chair, what would be the biggest changes that you think he'd go, what on earth has happened here?
He would be looking at the website and the internet, and he'd say, what is all this about? And that clearly has been the biggest change in a good way, in that we now can reach a larger audience via our website, as well as continue our hard copy circulation.
Yeah, that is good. Talk a little bit about, what you're doing to maintain relevance. Obviously, the website is huge, but, not that long ago, you guys were really strongly entrenched in paper, and you still are, obviously. But, I mean, it's a bit tough transition for a lot of publishing, papers out there. Talk about that transition, what you've done to maintain relevance.
Sure. It's certainly been a huge transition. My father, thankfully, saw that transition coming back in the 90s. So we've had our website up and running for 19 years right now. So since 1997, we've had a website. And so we've always recognized the importance of an online presence. And, of course, we also value our hard copy presence as well. So to your point, it's been a delicate balance in terms of appealing to those whose readership habits prefer a hard copy newspaper versus those who prefer an online only and want nothing to do with a hard copy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Annette?
Well, I asked Tom this question about the percentage of paper versus digital now, because I assumed that a great number of people, a higher percentage, would be digital. But I assumed incorrectly, so because his readership spans a lot of decades as well. So can you speak to the percentages of who still uses paper versus the digital?
Right. And, of course, we're a very niche paper, so we're different than a Houston Chronicle, for example, in terms of we're not a strictly hard news paper. But surprisingly, for our paper, we're still about 50-50 in terms of a demand for hard copy analog versus a demand for the online.
And that's probably generational, isn't it?
Exactly.
You have a lot of older, readers that and really professional readers that other publications simply don't have.
Exactly. So, of course, you have a lot of the boomers who still prefer that hard copy, maybe some older Gen X that might prefer that hard copy, whereas younger Gen X and millennials, for the most part, just want the online presence.
Yeah, absolutely. Annette?
So you've got that generational jargon too, I noticed. So that was very impressive. So more specifically, you produce leads. So for people who don't understand exactly what Daily Court Review does, what kind of leads, who would benefit? Like, who would your clients be that would benefit from taking your newspaper?
Sure. We have a variety of clients across the entire spectrum of business that use our leads on our daily basis, ranging from landscape companies to CPAs. And we provide a variety of categories of business leads that we publish on a daily basis. For example, we provide all of the warranty deed transactions, all the new homeowner transactions. We provide all of the DBAs that are filed in Harris County and all the state tax permits that are filed. So there's as you can imagine, having different categories of business leads means that you have a lot of different clientele that utilize our services.
Yeah, that's a treasure chest for leads.
Absolutely.
It's incredible. And what's interesting, I mean, a lot of them are, our documentation lawyers are required to print certain notices on a paper. Yours is such a logical one to do it. That's kind of like a mainstay business for you, I know. But the lead generation is amazing. Anyone who sells, who's spending a lot of time at HBJ, which is a great publication. I recommend both, to be honest with you. But they're dipping in a pool that has a lot of competitors there going for the same people. Mm-hmm. Daily Court Review is just a smart place, in my opinion, for people to be looking for leads.
Sure, absolutely. And we now have branched off from our dailycourtreview.com website to strictly a business lead website, which is DCR, the acronym for Daily Court Review, dcrbusinessleads.com, in which a user can access that website and buy our leads directly in a digital format and slice and dice accordingly, filter all the leads according to what they want.
Yeah, very good. Annette?
Would you say that's a primary differentiator for you? Because Kevin just mentioned one organization that does what you do, which would be HBJ. Are there others who do what you do, and what would truly differentiate you?
Well, HBJ is a great publication. We're simply the Houston Chronicle, HBJ, Daily Court Review. We all serve our own purpose. Mm-hmm. HBJ, obviously, they're a weekly hard copy. They update their website on a regular basis, of course. Houston Chronicle is still the largest newspaper, and it's the Metro Daily. Mm-hmm. And Daily Court Review has always been the niche paper. It's always been the paper in which our bread and butter, as you mentioned earlier, are public notices and business leads. Mm-hmm. And we've always stuck to that business model. And we're not trying to be any more. We're not trying to be any less. Mm-hmm. So that's our biggest difference. We're a business daily paper. So we're published Monday through Friday, minus any federal holidays.
Tom Morin, he's with the Daily Court Review, and Annette Monks brought him on today. I'm really glad she did. DailyCourtReview.com is the website, DailyCourtReview.com. Annette, we have about a minute left. Your final thoughts?
I just wanted to ask Tom what you're most proud of, when it comes to working at Daily Court Review.
It's not every day that you get to take on a legacy of a business that's been in your family for over a century. So for me, it's all about just standing on the shoulders of my dad and my grandfather, grandmother, and my great-grandfather, and just continuing to build what they built for over a century. So every day, just walking into the office, you can't help but feel that presence of, I'm a part of this legacy. And while it's on my watch, I'm just going to do the best I can to continue that.
Yeah, very good. I think it's a great legacy, and we're glad you got to share it today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for that.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, we're going to have much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here does show up over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter.